First, cut a 9.5-inch wide by 25-inch long piece of fabric. I've chosen canvas. It doesn't matter what fabric you choose. You're going to cut the same size out of lining. You want rounded edges for what will be the flap. How you accomplish that? The piece lengthwise, match corners, and bravely simply make a nice curved edge, which you'll copy on the lining. Press down that flap. I've chosen 2¼ inches. That way you know where you're at, because if you're going to embellish the front, here's where that would be. I'm choosing machine embroidery. I need the center of my design to be from the flap, the edge of the flap, down to the bottom. I don't want to mistakenly include this area up here and make my center here. It will look off balance, I feel, perhaps. So think about where your flap is ending and how you want to embellish the front, how you're going to balance them. Once the lining is cut the exact same size as the canvas or whatever material you have chosen, trim it 1/4 inch widthwise and 1/4 inch lengthwise. The reason you're making your lining a little smaller is because you want this project, once it's turned right side out, to have very smooth lining on the inside. Cut the batting piece as large as the canvas piece minus the flap. Time to sew. Place the lining and the canvas right sides together, then the batting. From the lining side, this is what the pinning looks like. See how it buckles a little bit? That's on purpose. Remember, the lining piece is a little smaller than the canvas. This is what your sandwich layer looks like. Use a serger if you can, otherwise just straight stitch and perhaps use a zigzag stitch on your home sewing machine. Here it is, all serged. Back at the flap, notice these marks I've made. We need to actually cut in a little bit on the flap so that when this is all put together, it flaps nicely over the edge. So I've marked just about the width of the serging for guideline. And I'm just going to cut, again bravely, by placing these two edges together as we did before. It would be a good idea to pin. Once pinned together, cut right in. Until you have this notch. It needs to be re-sewn here. I'm not going to serge. It will be too hard to get in with the notch there with the serger. So I'll straight stitch and catch up with the serging. Actually right here it looks like I might have not gone as smoothly as I would have desired with the serger. So I'll remedy that and correct that with the straight stitching reinforcement. Reinforce that notch area and slash. Time to turn right side out. Exciting! It is fair to point out that once this was first turned right side out, it looked very rough. The lining was all wrinkled from all the effort of turning it right side out. I did have to do a fair amount of pressing and a lot of work with the pin to poke out the notches and the edges of the flap. So just be prepared to work with it a lot until it's nice and crisp and pointy and looks as professional as possible. What we need to do is close up now with top stitching the open area where we turned right side out. As well, it would be a good idea to top stitch down the flap. I top stitched quite close to the edge, and when it came to the flap, I sewed clear out to the edge of the notches. We're getting close to the end now. We're going to place the sleeve right sides together once again. Sew narrow seams and then turn it right side out once again. Okay, seamed and ready to turn right side out. Terrific, this is really taking shape. Now all that remains is a snap closure. At last all finished, and look at this lovely snap feature at the top for the closure. I really liked using this Dritz product, although there's any number of products you could use or types of closures that you could use. These are 6 heavy-duty snap fasteners. I really like the look. Follow the manufacturer's instructions and look, here is your beautiful iPad sleeve all finished. Good job!